What you are going to hear me say is not new. It's the truth. It's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Now, some people won't accept what I'm going to say. Some don't want to hear what I'm going to say. Just go somewhere else if you don't want to hear what I'm going to say. But for those that know me and those who know of me, this is for you. It is to encourage you to know the world that you live in, that you really live in, and not fall for the okie doke, and to not allow industries and corporations to control you or to limit the amount of control that they have over you and the things that you do from day to day. The weaponization of food. Yes, our food has been weaponized. This is not going to go over well with some that's watching, some of the higher uppers that's even watching and paying attention to this video. They will limit the amount of exposure that this video has. But as I've told you in time past, and I repeat this to you all the time, make sure that you copy and share my videos, especially because they are of substance to you. They mean something. You know, I'm not just saying this just to be saying it. And if you have common sense, and if you have any portion of intellect, you'll know that what I'm telling you is correct. The weaponization of food, our food. Does it exist? I know you're not going to say that it does not exist. So, brother teacher, what is the weaponization of our food? It is when our food is not 100% real. Our food has been filled with and or tainted with thousands of chemicals. The last count that I heard one person mention was there's over 10,000 chemicals in all of the food stuff that we indulge in and that we consume from the food industry. Over 10,000 chemicals is in our food supply. The food that you buy in the grocery store, over 10,000 chemicals are used to keep them on the shelf so that they can be sold to us. I'm going to back up and say this again. Did you not know that once you bring food from the garden, trees, bushes, plants, the ground, and pull it into a supermarket, it begins to die. It can't stay there much longer than a few days and remain fresh. This includes meat, what we call meat, steak, beef, pork, fowl, that's chicken, turkey, pheasant, whatever, fish. That's going to waste away in just a few days. It begins immediately if it's meat. It's not going to last. So how do you keep it in the supermarket so that you can reap as much financial benefit as possible if you are the supermarket or that industry? You have to add something to it, so you package it, put some preservatives in there, some coloring, some taste enhancers, if you will, and various other things, emulsifiers, whatever. You put that in there to keep that on the shelf as long as you possibly can so that you can get it sold. Because you don't expect to have just a handful of customers, do you? You expect to have hundreds and even thousands of customers coming through your facility, through your supermarket, your grocery store. And you cannot accommodate that many people coming to patronize your store if the food is spoiled in 3 or 4 days, right? So the food has been weaponized. Now you can say it was intentional or unintentional. You could say that there's some good reason behind it because we want to sell a product, but at whose expense? Whose expense are you selling the product? So you might have real food, but to keep that real food on the shelf in the refrigerators and in the freezers longer, you have to doctor it up a little bit so that you can sell the product, right? So now, all of the things that you did to keep it on the shelf longer, all of the flavor enhancers and the colors and the dyes and things like this, and the preservatives, all of the things that you did to keep it on the shelf longer, how does that affect your consumer, your customer, your patron? Maybe not immediately, but at some point in time. What about stomach problems? What about gastrointestinal problems in general? What about heart problems? What about circulatory problems? What about allergies from allergens that's in the food? Now, where are you coming from when you say what about heart and what about gastrointestinal problems and stuff, brother, to you? Where do you get these things from? Well, first of all, there are chemicals that you're putting in the foods, right? What about cancer down the road? Do these scientists who put all of these concoctions together in a laboratory and then place them in your food, do they know what the ramifications of you consuming this over a period of time are? Do they not know that at some point in time it's going to cause ill health? You got sugar. Sugar is a toxin. Refined sugar. High fructose corn syrup. That's a toxin. That's not real food. What about refined flour? Refined. That means it's been altered from its original state. It's not real. It's not the real thing. You want real sugar? You could try stevia that comes from a plant. You could try
power off.
You could try agave. You could try real honey. Hello? But things like sucrose, what's that? Sugar? Things like sucralose, which is artificial. What about aspartame, which is artificial? The pink packs, the blue packs, the yellow packs, and even the green packs of artificial sweeteners, those are not healthy. Those cause cancer. Yes, they do. There's a lot of things that's in our foods that's not good for us. But for the sake of profit, they feed them to us and our families anyway in the name of a profit. But we're suffering long term. And then that turns us over to the medical industry to try to maintain us and our illness and or sickness from consuming things that were not good for us in the first place. And I say this before I close. Food does not have ingredients. If you go out to the garden and get carrots, it's just a carrot. You pull a banana or an orange or an apple off of a tree, it's a banana, apple, and an orange. That's what it is. It's nothing else. It's what it is. If you pull a watermelon, honeydew melon, cantaloupe out the ground, it is what it is. There's nothing added to it. It came how nature presented it to you. It is not questioned until you begin to add something to it that did not come with it by nature. Think about it. What's being added to our foods? What about hybrids? What about melons that have no seeds? You can't grow another melon if it has no seeds, right? You can't grow any more grapes if they don't have seeds, right? All for the sake of convenience. I don't have any seeds to have to deal with in my mouth and spit them out. No, you stop the plant from reproducing itself or turning into another plant, something else that can be used, something else that can be used as food by altering its nature. This was just something for you to think about. Has your food been weaponized? Now someone might say, well, how do you keep the food on the shelf and how do you feed people? How do you feed thousands of people and millions of people unless you do this? Makes you want to think, maybe I should go and grow my own like our grandparents did, like our foreparents did. That way I know what I'm getting. You ever think about that? But some of us, for the sake of convenience, we would rather go to the grocery store and buy that so-called food chock full of all of those chemicals because it's convenient. It tastes okay until 5-10 years later you're in the emergency room, right? I wonder how I got this condition. I wonder why I'm diabetic. I wonder why I have colon cancer. I wonder why I have Crohn's disease. I have diverticulitis. I wonder why I have heart problems and circulatory problems. I wonder why I have this placation or this atherosclerosis. I wonder why my kidneys are bad. I wonder why. What about what you're eating and have been eating for so long? Your body's been telling you all along and you haven't been listening to it. Notice the check engine light in your vehicle. When it comes on, it's warning you of something impending. Something's going to come down the road, right? Check engine light comes on, it turns off. You ignore it. Later on, it comes on again. You look at it, you ignore it. Next time it comes on again and stays a little bit longer. You say, you think about it again, you ignore it. And then the car is stuck on the highway somewhere. What about your body? You know how that's paralleled with your body? Look at this. I got a headache. Boom. I don't get headaches. Oh, it goes away. You ignore it because it's gone now, right? Oh, I got a chest pain. Oh, it goes away. Just because it's still not there, you ignore it. Time goes on. Ooh, another short pain. Oh, what is that? Let me go lay down. Let me go take an antacid or something for my stomach because I'm having stomach problems, and it goes away, right? Next thing you know, you're in the emergency room having gastrointestinal issues and surgery. Maybe you have a blockage. Maybe you have leaky gut. Maybe you have Crohn's disease. Are you getting what I'm saying to you? We've been getting warning signs that we have been ignoring. But we need to go to the causation of those issues and not keep covering them up. Because they're not going away. Your body's intelligent. And it knows. It knows the difference between food and something that's not food. Give it a chance. and trust what it's telling you and get it together. That was it. And that was all.